What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about Doctor Who Season 2, Episode 7, Wish World. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you have not seen Wish World, get out of here now. There's spoilers ahead. Wow. What a fun fucking episode. A literal... we had a literal cliffhanger at the end of the episode with the Doctor. A literal cliffhanger. Crazy. That episode was so fun, though. It gave me big WandaVision vibes. A little bit, honestly, a little bit Westworld vibes. Specifically, Westworld Season 4 with Dolores and the towers and, like, writing the story. It kind of her in the place of Conrad-ish. It gave me little vibes of that, which obviously I love. I adore Westworld. So anything that's like WandaVision, like that, it's really up my alley. I thought that was really good. I thought the score from Murray Gold, I mean, he's always on his A game. But it was so good this episode. And then the Ronnie sets. I mean, all the sets this season have been really these past two seasons have been great. But I love the Ronnie set with the dinosaur bones and just in her little. It makes me kind of wonder if that's her TARDIS. It could be her TARDIS. But yeah, I loved the vibes of this episode. It was just very fun. I like the look. I like the sound. I like it all. But all right, let's get into the episode now. The episode opens up in Bavaria in 1865. We got the Ronnie going to the seventh son of a seventh son with seven sons. And I believe she takes the seventh son, and that's who becomes the Wish baby. I forget his name. I wrote it down. I'll get to it later. But the Wish baby that she can kiss him on the little head and make a wish, which kind of makes him... Why doesn't Conrad have to kiss him on the head? At least maybe we're not seeing it. Conrad just seems to be able to read Doctor Who and it works. That was very fun. She walks in there, she steals his son, turns the wife into violets, turns the kids into chickens, and the dad into an owl. Yeah, turns the dad into an owl and takes the baby and fucks off. She's like, all right, that's my job. I'm out of here. I did really like, though, that was the Ronnie doing that, not Mrs. Flood. I kind of like that. I thought it would be Mrs. Flood doing all of, like, the tedious work, but she liked to do some villainous shit. That was pretty cool. But all right, now we're back in London, 2025. Blend and the Doctor are together and married. They have a kid named Poppy. Shit's getting crazy. That was so fun. I love that. So apparently, since the TARDIS doors blew off, Conrad made a wish. Everybody is all of a sudden in Conrad's world. I love that they look into the TV. Like, he's always speaking to them through the TV. At the beginning, before the title sequence, they're all like, "Good morning, Conrad," and then we get the title sequence. That's very fun. I also really like too that he like completely interrupts the title sequence. I love that they've been doing more fourth wall break and shit like that. I have a little suspicion that we're not going to get an answer to why Mrs. Flood could break the fourth wall. I think it's just going to be like that's a thing Doctor Who does now. But I'm kind of here for it. As long as we don't overdo it, I'm here for it. So then we got Conrad reading Doctor Who in the Deadly Wish, which is obviously a little nod to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I believe the books look pretty identical. That was fun. We get little bits of that sprinkled throughout the episode of him reading the Doctor's story. I talked about companions, talking about the Ronnie, just giving us a whole bunch of Doctor lore. I'm sure if you piece that all together, it's very, like, it might tell you something. I didn't write everything down he said. I just wrote a few things down. So on a rewatch, I'm going to have my fucking ears perked up whenever Conrad starts talking. They keep teasing tomorrow is May the 24th, which we know now by the end of the episode is the reality is going to break and Omega is coming back. We'll definitely get more into Omega at the end of the episode, but that's very exciting. I love that the Doctor's going by John Smith again. Every time, you get like the chameleon arc or, just something happens to the Doctor where he's on Earth and he can't be the Doctor. He's always John Smith. I love that we're keeping that. Ruby shows up and asks if he's the Doctor. She talks to Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith. She sees Poppy. She's like, you guys don't have a kid. This is weird. She has like very vague memories of the Doctor. She doesn't exactly memorize him. She kind of has vague memories of Conrad. She has vague memories of everything from the past world because in 73 Yards, she lived to 2025 already. That never even crossed my mind. I thought that was so fun though that they brought that up. But yeah, so she's there. She's asking him. The Doctor and Belinda kind of freak out. Belinda ends up snitching on Ruby. Belinda picks up the phone and she's like, somebody here is expressing doubt. And then she snitches on them. So Ruby ends up running away. She bumps into Mel. We're just getting everybody here now. This is also, again, where I wrote down big Westworld Season 4 vibes from Conrad. And, like, the big old tower that he's in just looks so much like the tower in Season 4 of Westworld. So now the Doctor's at work. He's at Unit. And I forget what... They changed the name of Unit. It's like an insurance building now or something. It's like the United Nations Insurance... It's something. They changed the name, but it is insurance now. He notices that Colonel Abraham still has a crush on Kate. So he kind of gives her a little... I forget what he says. He's like, go get her a burrito or something. Get her Chinese food. Those are completely different. But he tells her to get it. Fuck, I didn't write that. I didn't write down that part. But he tells her like, hey, she likes this kind of food. Go check that out. Blah blah blah. And he's like, you're cute, man. You could do it. And Abraham's like, excuse me? You're a man. I'm a man. You think I'm cute? And like all hell starts breaking loose. And this is when you kind of start realizing, oh, Conrad doesn't think of gay people. Conrad doesn't think of homeless people. Conrad doesn't think of disabled people. So anybody Conrad doesn't think of just doesn't exist. There's a couple moments sprinkled out throughout the episode where like the doctor keeps doing something and then he expresses doubt and he's like, no. I didn't express doubt. I asked a question. But those moments were very fun. This was a fucking crazy scene. So also I got a question here as well. But so Belinda brings her mom, and I didn't write it down. I'm assuming her mom's mom, her grandma. I'm not sure. But there was two ladies there. They talk about her dad again. We keep getting teases about her. Is her dad gonna have the giggle? Is her dad gonna be Omega? What? I don't know. I don't know. We just keep getting teases about her dad, and I'm very fucking curious where that's going. But they're all talking about giving birth and how long it took, and then it gets to Belinda, and she's like, well, actually, I don't remember Mom, how long did it take me to give birth to Poppy? And nobody remembers because it didn't happen. This is the kind of the start of Belinda being like, something is not right here. I did like this too. Eventually, the Ronnie is flying overhead over the unit tower, almost like the Green Goblin a little bit. But I liked her fucking scooter. But she's flying by, and the doctor's like, I wonder who she is. And everyone there, that's another moment, everybody turns to him, and he's like, actually, she is who she is, and that's who she is. I'm sorry I asked. Fuck, my bad, dude. I believe every time somebody casts a doubt, too, one of the mugs would break. And that was kind of like a continuing thing throughout the episode. But after that moment, after Belinda starts having doubt there, she runs into the forest and screams. And I believe that's when her mom snitched on her. I believe that's the moment. Mrs. Flood makes Conrad a sandwich because the Ronnie makes her do that. I like that. She's like, I'm making fucking sandwiches, huh? I'm doing this for you, huh? I thought I was the Ronnie. Like, she's getting annoyed. Next week, she's either going to do something against the Ronnie, or she's definitely going to do something against the Ronnie. But she's going to do something either just against the Ronnie or for the doctor. I can kind of see that turn coming. But she makes a sandwich for Conrad. He's very worn out. He's kind of realizing, like, if I don't think of this, if I forget about the weather in Japan, it's fucked there. So he's having a rough time. Poor Conrad. The baby sustains the entire world, and he giggles like the toy maker. Also, too, what did you guys think of the Ronnie sonic screwdriver? I really like that. She uses her two fingers to, like, pull down on it. It has a little purple thing up top. That was a very cool Sonic. I need that. It's also weird. I mean, I like shooties, but, like, can we get back to having real Sonics, please? Like Mrs. Flood's, and or I guess I don't know if Mrs. Flood has one, but the Ronnie, that was a great Sonic. I also thought this was a little weird. Mrs. Flood kind of hints that the Ronnie kind of sprang from her loins when they bigenerated. Does that also kind of mean that Shooty is 15th son? Like David Tennant is the daddy of Shooty if we're going that way? That's kind of weird. I don't think that's really ever going to go anywhere, but that surprised me when she brought that up.
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Ruby and Shirley bump into each other. Now, this stuff, I understand we need to get Ruby and Shirley and these other characters where they need to be in the finale. But oh boy, did all that feel pointless. Like, I liked Ruby kind of remembering. I liked Shirley kind of remembering. I liked the moments, too, that it brought up of, like, people, Conrad not thinking of them, so they don't need their medicine. They don't need, like, they're not disabled in a way now because Conrad doesn't even think of that. That was good. But to the whole story, like, they just got crushed by the end of the episode. I mean, I know they're going to be alive, but it just felt weird. I felt we could have wrapped that up better. Because, like, not like I don't like the character. Like, I like those characters. I would like to see them more, but felt odd. It just, that was the only thing this episode that I was like, oh, we could have not had that and had, you know, more Doctor and Belinda and Poppy and whatnot. Could put Rogue back for a couple more minutes if you wanted. Another thing here, too, is they can see the real world out of, like, the corner of their eye. They say like it's almost like a glimpse in the corner of your eye of what's real and what's not real. It is interesting, too. I like, well, I didn't like because it's fucked up, but Ruby's mom ended up casting her out. She's the one that snitched on her as well. Her adopted mom, not her real mom. We didn't even see her real mom this episode now that I think about it. But yeah, her mom and her grandma fucking snitched on her. That's very rude. I just wrote down here, Conrad can't see disabled people. Tables don't do that. Oh, this was a fun fucking moment. So the doctor's watching TV at the table. Seems that's just, you know, he's either at work or he's at the table. He sees Susan for like 2 seconds and then it switches over. It's Rogue. Apparently he's in hell. I did not expect to see a Rogue this episode. That was nuts. But he's in hell. He tells the doctor, tables don't do that. I think he remembers from this morning because a mug fell through the table early in the morning with Poppy. So he keeps putting them up like in the middle. And if he casts a doubt, a mug falls through. But I like too that we got a little more Susan as well, just to make it feel like, oh, okay, this wasn't like a one-off last week and she's never going to pop up again. This is leading somewhere. And I really like that Rogue was in it. I don't know. I'd be surprised if he's in the finale, to be completely honest. I don't know how the doctor would get to hell, get him out of there. and fix everything else that's going on. But who knows? Maybe after reality breaking, maybe the Doctor's in hell. But yeah, that was really cool to get him back. I love the Rogue episode from season 1. So anything more with those two, I'm here for. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this, and I just don't know. But Conrad teases a Doctor Who secret, and I don't remember the exacts because there was so much going on at the end. I definitely need to rewatch this episode. I need to rewatch it. I probably will tonight. But Conrad teases a Doctor Who secret, and I believe he says,
secret so old and so terrible, everyone had forgotten, but the secret was beginning to wake.
What could that be? Is that going to do with the Doctor's origin? Are we going back to Tecteun? And I know there's a lot of rumors that the Rani is going to end up being the Doctor's sister, but I kind of doubt that now with them teasing like they used to be a couple. I mean, you never know. Star Wars has done that, but yeah, I'm curious. What do you guys think is the Doctor Who secret that Conrad knows? Was it just that, this world isn't what it is? This is the Wish world, or is there an actual like lore secret that Conrad knows from that book? But so then after this, Belinda snitches on the Doctor for having doubts. Then Belinda's mom, we get the reveal that Belinda's mom ended up snitching on Belinda for having doubts. So Mrs. Flood comes and arrests both of them. She has a really good villainous speech, basically just being like, "This is the fun part of the job for me. I enjoy doing this to you guys," even though I do kind of feel like she is going to be a good guy by next week. This is another part with Ruby that I thought was just like, what are we doing here? She's sneaking around with 2 girls in wheelchairs. And I know they make a little joke about it too, but what are we doing here? Maybe you guys wait somewhere and have Ruby, like, your cars are going by, like, what? People are just, no one sees them? Not one person saw Ruby and 2 girls in wheelchairs sneaking around outside of a unit, or wherever the Verani towers are, and then the unit tower, whatever it was, fell on them. That was just weird. That was very weird. So Belinda and the Doctor are brought to the Rani. The Rani ends up showing the Doctor Conrad and the baby. Let's see, the baby's name was... The baby is Desiderium, the god of wishes. And this is where we get a lot of reveals here, too. I believe in that moment, too, Conrad was like, "Hey, Doctor, you thought I was nothing? Look at me now. I got Wish World. I gotta stay in this room, think of things, and kiss babies. What do you get to do, Doctor?" Yeah, so he's the god of wishes. If you touch that baby, kiss that baby, it's unclear, but you rip that baby, your wish comes true. And then we also get the reveal here, too, that the Rani used the Vindicator to help the baby and Conrad create Wish World. They make a joke kind of, too, like if it wasn't for the Vindicator and these things, like, kind of controlling the baby, he would just wish for infinite breast milk. It is unclear why the Rani couldn't just use her own Vindicator. I don't know why she couldn't do that. But, maybe it's more fun to just use the Doctor's and let him go travel around and do that shit. And I guess maybe, too, if her end goal is to have the Doctor, like, break reality with doubt, maybe having him go on that journey with the Vindicator is part of that process. I don't know. But this is where we get the Omega reveal. So deep within the Underverse is the one who is lost. So the whole goal apparently was to get the world to this state to where the Doctor can cast as much, because if a Time Lord casts out, it just completely breaks reality. A normal person does it, mugs break. Time Lords, reality's broken. But yeah, Omega is back. I really hope we get a dark side of my mind quote from him, from the 3 Doctors. I would just love to see that again. The 3 Doctors, that's the only Omega story that I've personally seen. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know everything about Omega. I think he's got a very cool look, and I love the episode I saw of him once. I'm here for him being back. I just don't know a lot of the lore, unfortunately. Other than the dark side of my mind. That fucking cracked me up.
Dark side of my mind.
And then here's our cliffhanger moment. The Doctor is falling, and he says, I might not have wrote this exact, but he says, "I have a daughter. Poppy is real. Do you know what that means?" And I don't. Is Poppy going to end up being Susan's mom, or is she going to be Susan pre-regeneration? I don't know. This could be going anywhere. It really does feel like, with everything breaking and him still remembering Poppy and thinking of that she's got to really be his daughter. But I don't know. I'm very curious where that's going. You know what time it is now? Now it's time to go over to Doctor Who Unleashed and watch an exclusive clip of the next episode of Doctor Who.
Sweet little Desideria. If only you were older, you could imagine such complicated things. Instead, I've got you.
Maybe next week we get to see Desiderium grow up and we get rid of Conrad. That'd be kind of fun. Seeing the baby there reminded me, I want to bring up too, is this baby connected to Ruby? The whole first season is, Ruby's parentage. Where did she come from? Who is she? I mean, we got a very unsatisfying ending of her mom just being her mom. It still snows in the TARDIS everywhere when she's at, when they think of her parents and whatnot, or that day, where she was left at the church. That's unexplained still. Is this going to be connected to that? Is this like her dad? You know, I feel like it's got to be somehow connected. Is Ruby a space baby? Is she like Poppy's sister? Is Ruby Poppy regenerated? Like, where is this? You know, what's going on with her? I mean, there's got to be more. There's no way what we saw last season was all that it's going to be. Especially because everybody, as soon as they saw those pictures of Rowney holding the baby from the opening of this episode, we all thought Ruby. So it's still in our minds. She even is kind of cloaked like the woman in the church on Ruby Road. Is just like different colors. It's got to be somewhat connected, you know what I mean? All right, well, that's going to do it for this review. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Comment down below what you thought about part 1 of the 2-part finale of Doctor Who, and we'll see you guys next time for Reality War. Peace out, Girl Scouts.